and welcome. My name is Christoph Lindner. I am the Dean of the Bartlett, and I'm excited to be here today to celebrate the latest exhibition of our Bartlett architecture students, 15. This is an exhibition that brings together 3 really innovative programs: design for manufacture, design for performance and interaction, and situated practice. And together, these programs address all kinds of critical and creative issues related to making, performance, places, and publics. It's always special when our students share their work, and this is no exception. It's been a tough year, a different kind of year. Everybody has had to be resilient and adaptive and adjust to shifting learning and working conditions. And you have done so with grace, with character, and with tremendous success. So most of all, a huge congratulations to our students, and a big thank you to all of our staff who have supported them throughout the year. One of the things about an online exhibition that we've come to enjoy over the last year or so is that it allows anyone with an internet connection to access and experience the amazing work of our students, no matter where you are in the world. So to everybody joining us, whether you're in London in the UK or elsewhere around the world, it's wonderful to have you with us, checking out the kind of work that we do here at the Bartlett, and a very warm welcome to you. Bob.
Thank you, Christoph. I'll be very glad to add just a few words to that. I'm Bob Schill, Director of the School of Architecture, and I'd like to echo everything that Christoph's just said. The 3 programs for me very much resonate with a lot of the issues facing us in these times. Situated practice, even the title of the program, provokes wonders and ideas about the challenge of being distributed in the world and what that might mean, and being disconnected and what that might mean. And I've seen the work of the students from the Situated Practice program this year, and it's exemplary. It's extraordinary work, very powerful, very resonant with where we are today. The program Design for Performance and Interaction, again, incredibly resonant with where we are today, talking about how we connect, what it means to connect through the kind of the digital airwaves, and how we make that connection meaningful in a way that talks about human experience, space, and our relationships to technology and communities. Amazing work done by the cohort this year, really inspiring work. And then Design for Manufacture, one would have thought that program would have been faced with unsurmountable challenges this year. A program that talks about the physical, the use of tools, the manipulation of materials, the making of things. And I'm amazed what they did. They made the most extraordinary provocative projects in beautiful ways that you can see on this website, which you hopefully will now enjoy meandering your way through. And I'd like to finish by thanking the team who built the website, which are in collaboration with the agency Hello Monday, the team within the school, particularly led by David Shanks and Chee-Kit and the comms team, is the way that they've managed to get these ideas across through this very innovative website that is very spatialized and very accessible to the work and has depth. You can keep going into the work in ways that we were never able to do in physical exhibitions. So we're learning a lot at the moment. We're changing what we do. We're evolving with these challenges. And all of that is happening because of the work of our students, how you have responded. And now is the time to celebrate your work and share it with the world. And we're very, very proud of what you've done. So thank you, congratulations, and stay in touch with us. We have a lot more to talk about your work and about the direction of travel for our school. Enjoy.
Welcome to the online exhibition of the Design for Manufacture course. My name is Emmanuel Verkreuze, and I'm the program director of this course together with Peter Scully. The course continued its exploration of design at the point of physical production. This year, the central theme focused around the exploration, the interrogation, and the reinvention of timber frame prototypes. So we've been examining this conventional typology, the aim of enhancing and enriching it with digital and advanced technologies, such as LiDAR scanning, robotic and CNC machining strategies. The exhibition goes into glorious detail, illustrating the exceptional achievement of the students as they delivered their final projects. Our students showed their highest level of dedication as they managed against all the odds to manufacture and deliver their ambitious large-scale architectural constructs. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate them all for their exemplary attitude and just say, guys, you truly raised the bar. Thank you, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed the show very much. All the best. Bye-bye.
Our experience might be a special one, as the global pandemic set in last year and had a huge impact on everyone's life. Closed workshops are a game changer for a program that aims to combine the two worlds of physical making and digital design. This way, the balance shifted away from the making that everyone was seeking to learn. The group found itself in an unusual situation, divided over 4 countries and 3 different continents. Designing together becomes a real challenge. I'm sure that this prepares us for many challenges in the future.
I'm very proud of what we were able to accomplish, despite limited workshop access.
In this pandemic period, the historic pandemic period, this was an unforgettable, memorable course and experience which I had.
My own experience, coming into the course, was that I was naturally curious about a lot of things, about how objects worked and why they worked the way they did and how they're made. But now I think studying this course, I've realised that curiosity and that interest kind of inspired solutions to problems that we were trying to solve, and that I think has kind of reinforced to me the value of the curiosity that I have in things, and that it is worthwhile knowledge.
The most valuable thing I learned from DFM is how to bridge the gap between the digital and the actual world. I would like to say that DFM is more than design. It's like a rational engineer-based design to allow us to fit in the fast-evolving industry better.
The directors and professors and tutors of the program are connected even outside of the world of education in the Bartlett. We were able to get connected and go visit an architectural construction site that was located, I think, just about a 15-minute walk away from our campus. So what was really great is we actually got to do a site visit of a building under construction.
During the course, you are always pushed to think very hard in a new way about your profession, which is design or architecture, in relation to manufacture.
The course started with some smaller design tasks that focused on timber, to get to know the manufacturing possibilities in the workshop, the different tools, the methods and the workflows. We were then able to choose between the 2 main tools, CNC milling and robotics. Personally, I think that in the end it's up to you what you learn from the Bartlett and how much.
After this 15 months DFM course, I learned a lot in the workshop, skill tutorial, and also design tutorial. I think the best part of this course is how to design something in the digital world, let's say Wagner and Fusion 360, and then you can build it by delivering your idea, your design to robot and CNC machine, and to actually build it by using this process and to make your own design from your mind in the physical world.
One of my favorite experiences of the DFM program was that each of us was given the opportunity to explore individual passions within the context of a team project. So there were many different tools and processes and workflows that we were introduced to in the first half of the program. And then for our final project, each of us chose to focus on more specific areas that we liked.
Also, we have to design and produce bespoke metal parts as manufacturer and hardware, which is a great opportunity to practice our tool making skills.
In a group of 7, we got a brief, which in the beginning helps to have something to hold on to, and to have some kind of orientation. It's a guided start, and then you can still make your own decisions within the team because it is your design.
The experience in the workshop is incredible. It's like the heart of our program, Design for Manufacture. Every time you design something, you can just go to the workshop, start testing it right away. We create a lot of prototypes with different material, using different tools and machines, and we can come back to the studio, redesign it, and go back to the workshop again. This back and forth process creates a workflow that can help us to reach our design intentions, because there are huge difference between the digital and physical world. Every time you sit behind the screen design something compared to when you actually make it is completely different. And the staff in the workshop is really nice. The BMS staff is so helpful. They'll always be there to help. And it's okay to make a mistake, because the more you mess up, the more you learn.
I would like to give a special mention and special credits to the workshop staffs, because they were there from the beginning till the end with us, and they made things which we thought impossible was possible.
The most enjoyable aspect of this program is definitely having access to the workshop and materials.
And through different projects, we use a various machine to explore the problems that we may be faced in the actual production process.
The learning experience of this course was very intense, for sure. We started working in the workshop from the very beginning, even though we didn't have any specific training. The BMA staff was there, and it was very important because they showed us how to work with timber, how to use the machines. They were there also when we needed to better understand some manufacturing issues about our projects.
The workshop provides a moment and time to allow you engage with material and know the behavior and also property of them.
The overall experience was definitely a learning by doing kind of education.
And we could also learn how to work collaborative in a design team. Each team member comes from different countries, have different interests in design field, so we could learn how to work and design effectively in this environment.
Is the connectivity that both the Design for Manufacture, the Bartlett, and UCL in general has brought. Even within our Here East campus, it's a bit smaller than the Bloomsbury campus, but the benefit from that is that you get to be surrounded by some of the other programs and get to know the students a bit more.
The cohort with whom we studied was an amazing batch where people came from different parts of the world. They had so many different skills and experiences which we shared. We had fun together. It was really a memorable experience.
I know now that I have one home in many different parts of the world, and I can tell that this is unique.
The first weeks of the program were a lot of fun. This was before the pandemic took place, so we actually had the opportunity to meet a lot of our classmates and to get to know one another. It was quite an intensive few weeks, as we were learning a lot of new skills, many of which we had never had any experience with. So in that close proximity, we got to know each other really fast, and friendships were built really quickly.
I was very glad to meet all these amazing people in the FPI from different cultural backgrounds and industries. I was hoping that throughout this 1.5 years of study, we can inspire each other and create something inspiring and interesting together. So that was my ambition at first.
This year certainly created quite a few challenges for us, but also opportunities. And in so many different ways, through students' projects, we've been able to explore radically new forms of performance and interaction, often remote, virtual, or some forms of hybrid.
Definitely had to readjust my sort of expectations and ambitions switching to online. I found sort of trying to do a more kind of digital experience at first. It seemed like a good idea, and then actually in the end I was really drawn to making something that combined a physical, a digital, online experience and really like brought those things together. My project responded to the kind of new situation massively by I had to bring in much more kind of autobiographical experience and really address it in my work. I found that a very important way to work.
Working on our project digitally is something we didn't think we were going to do, but it was very, very good for us to learn and push ourselves in that direction. And that's something that was very valuable to learn as a designer in this program, is how to navigate challenging spaces and how to navigate around these problems. And it might not always be a solution, it just could be another way to think about something, could be another way to view something or do something in a different way. And that is creativity. That is really pushing ideas outside of what the norm is, outside of your little box of how you might be thinking.
The broadcasting studio gave us great opportunities to experiment with this new situation of being fragmented all over the world, having to do everything online. And it gave us opportunities to expand our creativity in interactive art installations and events and take them to a new level. And I really hope we can do even more after COVID as well. I think it did give not just the Bartlett but also the students a new way of thinking of how we could overcome this fragmented situation of lockdown.
We're very proud that we created a first-person experience in VR, resonating with everyone who feels as though they were spending too much time online to study, to social and to work. We were also able to challenge traditional theatre making by bringing the whole creative team, including the writers, the performers, the sound designers, to work and rehearse in a virtual environment and creating the performances within the same space.
I didn't think I would be doing a project in VR, and I did, and I'm actually really happy that I did do that and that it ended up morphing into a completely virtual project. And yeah, basically I'm happy that through the pandemic I was able to still produce a concept that I was happy with. I think VR in general will be more widely accessible to all users.
I think the strongest part of the project for me was basically the realization that there's an incredible amount of generosity in this community. I think we got incredibly lucky that even during these times, people were still passionate about making art, doing this kind of work. I genuinely feel like the strongest part of my project was the community involved in making it.
This has really shaken us all up, and it's been certainly challenging. And I'm inspired by the strength of character and resilience of our students and our staff, who I have to all thank for the work that they've done this year. I'm really excited about the things that it's actually added to our program. Our new green screen studio that was built as a response, transforming our black box theatre into a space now that can explore new forms of remote interaction and performance. I must say it's just been such an immense pleasure. I'm so glad to have spent this year with this community who've worked so hard under enormous amounts of pressure to stick together, to be creative, to think about the future and try and build a better world.
The level of care that students showed, not only towards their work, but also to one another. Everyone found themselves quite isolated, especially at the beginning, but then the mechanisms that our students developed to start supporting one another and continuing to build their community that they'd started when we were still at Here East is something that was really wonderful to see. And I think it shows in the work across the whole year, but more importantly, it shows in the relationships that students have formed with one another. I was really impressed with the level and the kind of depth of theoretical discourse that the students engaged in this year. We made the decision to start the theory module earlier, the thesis module earlier than we would in other years. And I think that the work has benefited in a number of ways by having these conversations early on and then continuously throughout the early stages of design work. And I think it can be seen in the work produced that we're reaching levels of sophistication in the work itself that are quite unparalleled. It was really good to see how the theory module and the conversations that we had in the theory module also helped build the community for students. It was a kind of weekly thing that students would meet and discuss and share their thoughts, their ideas with one another, but also critique one another and critique other work, crucially. And I think that this is one of the things that I think can be seen as being positive influence to the work, but almost more importantly, a positive influence to the community that students have built throughout this year that was quite intense for everyone. And I feel that coming out the other end, students are actually stronger for it, both in terms of their academic trajectory, their knowledge base, but also as people and importantly as a network.
We begin at zero. The beginning that tells us if we had any idea of what we were getting into, we'd never do anything. Recent shifts in contemporary culture have produced overlaps where the discipline of architecture cross-pollinates with the other creative arts. Here on the MA Situated Practice Programme, we are interested in supporting new forms of practice that explore this fertile terrain. We are focused on the development of creative projects that are situated physically and engage with complex contemporary conditions. We aim to address key emerging issues in our world and explore the sites where these issues are made manifest. This year has been a particularly challenging one for the programme. Due to the COVID pandemic, students and staff suddenly vanished from our base in London and were scattered back to our home places across the planet. We became points in a constellation, evolving too quickly to comprehend. It took a little time to adjust to these unforeseen realities, working across time zones, linked via the new world order of online platforms, each new event constructing a heterotopic grid across time and space. As we start our lunchtime sessions from London, the new morning sun in Bogota touches nervously with the receding evening light in Beijing. We become captured, anchored in place, in a sea of endless time. In spite of everything, through lockdowns and isolation, projects of astonishing depth and beauty have come into being. Projects this year are field reports from vanishing points, where uncertain pasts meet a fragile future. They explore subjects such as participatory city making, colonial legacies, ethical conservation, property rights, highland clearances, Aztec herbal manuscripts, China's one-child policy, the creation of networks of empathy, constant productivity in the contemporary age, utopian projects as failed architectures, and the material remains at the sites of residence of the last emperor of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie. Through this diverse range of work, located in sites in Colombia, Dalian, Singapore, the City of London, Thessaloniki, Beijing, the Highlands of Scotland, Jerusalem, Bath and Massawa, we demonstrate our commitment to the idea of practice as a political operation within the public realm, where each project aims to reimagine the role of the public practitioner in the 21st century. As latent tendencies accelerate into a configuration of the new normal, our aim is to remain open. Adopting a lightness and deftness of movement, we become determined to rotate the constraints imposed on us until they start to refigure as potential. We trust that, with patience and critical sharpness, all constraints can become generative. The key to revealing this new situation is collaboration and mutual support. There is not a single project this year that has not benefited from a friendly chat or critique, a sharing of skills, or a helping hand in times of need. All of this makes sense as the program is structured around the potential and possibilities of sharing. Sharing of ideas, sharing of skills, sharing of experience. To all the sharers, to all the contributors to this program, especially in this strangest of years, we thank you sincerely. Within the constraints imposed by the pandemic, we remain committed to intellectual rigor and messy creativity. We resist the flattening of space to a grid of surfaces and the slow eradication of our cultural infrastructures and our social vitality. As we prepare to present our work to the world via this online platform, we remain hopeful. We know that in order to create new perspectives, we need to connect up the dots. We need to actively delineate the connecting lines between seemingly scattered elements and their related but invisible vanishing points. Through this active mode of connection, we nurture the dream of the unified field. From the standpoint of these utterly fragile perspectives, we will continue to risk the envisioning of new spaces, new configurations, new dreams.
Hi students, Bob Shield here. I'm the director of the Bartlett School of Architecture, and this is a very brief and special moment for all of us to come together to celebrate the work of the students on the 15-month master's programs. We've just come out of the exam board, and there's a large group of people here, program directors, program tutors, and our 3 external examiners. And it's been a wonderful session to hear the work talked about and celebrated. And we're going to announce 3 prizes. And after this, you can then just move on in and look at the work in the digital virtual exhibition that will be launched immediately afterwards, and enjoy it at your leisure and in your own time. And so I'm going to hand over to, first of all, the program director for Situated Practice, James O'Leary, who's going to call out the prize, and then the name will be announced by the external examiner, Barbara Hullab from Trans Paradiso. And then Barbara will say a few words about the program in general, her impressions about it very briefly. And then we'll go on to Design for Performance and Interaction, Rory and Omar Khan. And then we'll finish with Design for Manufacture, Peter Scully and Philip Beasley. So away we go. James, take it away.
Hi everybody, I'm really delighted to announce the Bartlett Medal for the student who has achieved the highest marks in MA Situated Practice goes to
Enrique Cavalier Piedrahita.
Bravo!
Bravo! Oh, fantastic.
Big congratulations, Enrique. We had this short conversation today, and I'm really, really happy to congratulate you what you achieved with your work. I already mentioned that, especially for situated practice, the year has been extremely demanding. How can you situate a practice if you're not on site, if many of you cannot even leave their houses? But you did the impossible. And when I saw that, I couldn't believe it, that you actually managed the largest goal of situated practice altogether to actually really initiate a project that would be exist for a longer term. Within the pandemic period, you managed to do that. You created Publico, a community-run space that you told me today that you will hand over to the next phase to the community members and creates a structure that will last. It's in a small town in Colombia, in Carica, which has been undergoing huge changes from an agricultural situation to new urban developments, which lack completely any ecological concerns or what impact that changes have on society. So I think with awarding you for your achievements, situated practice also really awards one of the general interests and goals situated practice wants to achieve. So I'm very happy and I wish you all the best for the further development of your project. And thanks to all the students of situated practice for your enormous engagement during this year and really, really excellent work. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, James. Now over to Rory Glynn, Program Director for Design for Performance and Interaction, who will hand over to Omar Khan from Carnegie Mellon University.
Thanks, Bob, and well done to all the students. I'm just going to immediately tell you that the Bartlett medal for the student with the highest overall marks on Design for Performance and Interaction goes to...
Yes, and the winner is Stephen Henderson.
Bravo,
Stephen! Bravo. Stephen, I very much enjoyed your thesis. I enjoyed reading it, and visually it was wonderful and stunning to sort of see a thesis that had as much fun writing as it did in putting it together. I also very much enjoyed seeing the work itself in the playground and how you are imagining these kinds of environments. This speaks a lot to, I think, what the program is developing into this year. We sort of spent our lives on the media that you are now playing with, and I think the program's prescience, but also its potential to shift a lot of the kind of discussions we've been having about how we're going to use these kinds of virtual mediated tools in making much more familiar, but also caring environments. And that is one of the tasks I think all of you set yourselves on in different ways, whether it was through your embodied projects, through other ways of interactive technologies. And in many ways, I think even the immersive VR environments were very much dealing with these issues. So I congratulate you all. It was a very difficult year, and I think you carried it out with tremendous amount of assuredness, but also cleverness. And that's really what I think this program is putting out, very intelligent and clever people who are going to make a difference with these mediated spaces. Congratulations all.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you very, very much indeed. And now Peter Scully will announce the prize for Design for Manufacture and hand over to Philip Beasley.
Brilliant. Yeah, so the Bartlett medal for the student with the highest grade is in Design for Manufacture, don't forget, is...
And the winner is Kieran Liu.
Hey!
Congratulations, Kieran. Kieran, what you achieved and the work of your colleagues as well, because your work was in many ways collective, is astonishing in its beauty and its depth. It astonishes me in several layers. It astonishes me in the sheer expert nature of the deep skill that's required, the kind of relentless skill and expertise that's required for the operations that manufacturing and design for manufacturing requires. It astonishes me in the consciousness that's manifested in this work of knowing what we do, of knowing the impacts, of knowing where we're going and where we've come from, and luminously clear writing and theory accompanying the expertise. It astonishes me in the emplacement of what has been made here, you and your colleagues, in these extraordinary architectural instruments that ground me, that allow me to feel the earth, that allowed me to feel the environment, and the sheer vulnerable human experience that surrounds these extraordinary constructions that you've offered as thesis. And it also astonishes me in the capacity to offer joy. This year is unspeakably difficult, and the kind of sheer unstable quality in which something can hover so precisely tuned as to hover right on the fence between multiple possibilities really does impart a kind of joy. I feel very grateful for your work.
Thank you, Philip. Beautiful words. Beautiful words, yeah. And thank you, Omar. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, everybody here. Fiona, Claire, Thea, Thomas, Rory, James, Alice, Marilena, Vincent, William, Paul, and Pani. You're all a team that put in a huge effort, and most important of all, we would all agree, we're here to celebrate the work of our students. So off you go, enjoy the show. It's going to be up for quite some time, exquisitely put together by the team who built the website, and justifiably so for the quality of the work that's in it. Congratulations, all of you. Yeah, we're very, very proud of what you've done. Thank you very, very much indeed. Well done.